This episode of the Jaguar Football Podcast is brought to you by Lorenzo's Tacos and Burritos, located at 1841 Old State Route 21, addicted to tacos. Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 5 of our football season. And along with us is Coach Nick Baer. So, Coach, so great to see you on this Monday, and we appreciate you taking time out. Here we are, 4 games into the season, homecoming on the horizon. Wanted to just kind of get your thoughts about where things stand right now.
Yeah, 4-0. You can't really start much better than that. So, it's a really good spot to be in as a team, as a program. Really solid, overall team win against Mehlville last Friday. And now we're staring down the barrel of homecoming week and a really good opponent in the Oakville Tigers. So I'm kind of excited for this week.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's talk a little bit about the Mehlville game. We were, I would think, very fortunate to get it in. You go south about 15 miles. They were in downpours and rain delays, but you see the pictures scrolling through here. Very nice turnout by the Jaguar Nation for sure. And wanted to ask you about, you were talking about it, during the off season, the strength and conditioning. It was a hot night. And perhaps we turned the corner on the weather and getting into more seasonal type fall weather. Maybe not. It all depends. Just, talk to us again about how important that strength and conditioning is to keep the boys in top shape for, warm, humid nights like what we had at Mehlville.
Yeah, it's definitely unseasonably hot. Friday night, I think we were talking in the coach's office. It was going to be like 84 degrees at kickoff. And, that means it's probably going to be closer to about 89, 90 degrees while we're warming up. And, even as we were warming up, you could really feel the heat. You could feel the humidity. You could really see the boys sweating it out pretty good. And, it's just one of those things. It's what you prepare for, It was kind of a weird, end of summer with a few milder practices than what we would normally have in July. But we had those hot days when we were out there, we were grinding and working and doing our running and conditioning at the end of practices. And, nights like Friday nights when it really pays off. I tell our boys all the time, our conditioning, a lot of our conditioning just comes through how we practice. We don't spend 10, 15 minutes at the end of practice running gassers and this and that. Now we do during camp, don't get me wrong. We do during the first couple weeks of practice, but once the games start, we really value that energy in the legs and the way we practice through, our 7-on-7 periods, the circuits that we do during practice. That's really where the bulk of the conditioning for our guys is from.
No doubt that has a lot to do with the success and also having the luxury of a very deep bench, right? So it's like, the boys don't have to play on both sides of the ball. There were, I saw in your email that you sent out to the parents that there were a couple players that scored their first varsity touchdown on Friday.
Yeah, being able to platoon, I've always said it from, my first year we didn't, and it was kind of one of those things. Coach Taylor, my defensive coordinator, and I, we were just kind of going back and forth. And I ran up to his room. I said, this is what we're going to do. And if we may not have the bodies now, but I know there will be a day if we commit to this, we will. And platooning and putting guys on one side of the ball has really helped us, especially when we play teams that have to have linemen go both ways or an athlete or here. When we've got a little edge, anytime you got a little bit more energy, you're going to be a little bit quicker off the football. And I mean, football's a game of inches. So if you got an inch in that hole, it's going to matter for sure.
Yeah. So, as opposed to the Northwest game that started a little bit slower than perhaps what you and your staff would have liked, or even the boys for that matter, seems like this one off to a very quick start and going into the halftime with a big lead. What do you tell the boys? What do you tell the players going into halftime that, because I'm sure you've been on games that have been the opposite of what we had on Friday. What do you tell them to keep them up, keep them engaged, keep them excited? I was just wondering if you could provide a little insight around that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously sitting in my chair this week, I'm much more pleased, with how we started the game on Friday night. We got off to a much faster start of really doing what we do. I mean, the first drive, truly grinding them out and moving the ball downfield, scoring early, and then the defense coming out scoring right away. And offense puts the ball in the air. So, we're heading to the halftime 35-0. We're feeling pretty good, about how things are going. And, when you get into the locker room, we tell those guys, because a lot of times too, when you get to that point, you got new guys getting into the game, and it's an opportunity, and the expectations are the same. The standard is the same, whether you're in the game at 35-0 or 0-0. We got guys battling for opportunities. We got guys that are, trying to stay fresh because they're a play away from going in. If the guy in front of them goes down. So it's really fun opportunity for us to kind of get some guys into a game. And, when you get to that point, you do, like you said, you have guys scoring their first varsity touchdowns like Kyler Huckfelt and Quinn Mattingly. We have guys that got their first sacks. Seniors Jacob Fraley and Nathan Lauer both recorded their first sacks. That was fun to see, 4 years in the making. And when you get the opportunity to get those guys in the game, it's really good. Now, we stumbled coming out a little bit, and, Mehlville felt the need to throw a bunch of deep balls on us, for whatever reason, in that second half, and kind of slowed things up a little bit. But, it's always fun to get those guys in the game and give them an opportunity. So there's really no issue motivating those guys. They know if they don't hold the standard, someone else will go in.
Got it. And so, Coach, you have a couple plays you would like to break down for us on this podcast today.
Yeah, just a couple plays, a couple bigger plays from Friday night's game. This is, everybody loves the forward pass. So, I thought I'd show everybody our big completion from the night. This is our twist concept. Obviously you see our formation here from the drone. This is our base formation. You know what's coming. And when we start to see teams start creeping up a little bit, you start to see corners and safeties sticking their nose in there, making a tackle. That's kind of that time where, okay, it's time to go over the top. And, our basic twist concept puts kind of Devin on what we call an inverted seam, and then our wing back here on a wheel route. So as the play starts, we're going to get some pretty good protection. All right, quarterback gets to his drop. So quarterback's he's trying to look here first, okay? And he sees the corner is sitting up over the top of our wheel route. And you can kind of see where his eyes are right here. He doesn't see it. He doesn't like it very well. But we come back to the safety. The safety's hips are turned a bit towards. His eyes are over here. He's cheating this way. Well, we got Devin Gosser slipping right behind him on the inverted seam. So from this point, quarterback knows, set the feet, put the ball up in the air, give your wide receiver a chance, and he does a great job here. Great ball. Great catch. That's not easy to do. So fantastic play, by the offense there for sure.
Yeah, and Coach, it was a huge play. And also for the second year in a row, we were very fortunate to be selected, I guess you could say, to have the Fox 2 helicopter hovering overhead. They caught that play from their vantage point as well. So if you haven't seen it, we have a link to their football show on our podcast or on our Facebook page rather. But exciting to have that kind of coverage and to see the play now from both angles. The
helicopter was hovering over at the right time. I think they got that play. They got our pick six I'm about to show, Ben Lewis's big run. So no, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Anytime the local news stations, Fox 2, KSDK, come out and want to report on our football team, I mean, just another opportunity to spread the good word and get the name of our boys out and the work that they're putting in. So it's awesome recognition for those guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Those that know, it's very expensive to run a helicopter, and we were very fortunate to have those two big plays able to highlight, for their viewers. And I guess you're going to break down this play here for us.
Yeah, we had our pick six, our 13th defensive touchdown in program history, scored by senior Dominic Lagrasso. Just a couple different things from this play I want to show real quick. I know it's a little bit at the top of the screen. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can get a good look at it. But, we're going to see the offensive line play and the D-line play right here. We talk about our D-line all the time, how great of a job that they're doing as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. And a lot of times what teams will do is they'll actually do what's called cut you. So at the snap of the football, they'll actually try to jump at your knees, which is a legal play. It's called cutting. It's very legal to do. But you have to do it immediately at the snap. So, it's kind of funny, though, when they miss or it doesn't really work out, you see 5 guys laying on the ground and then you see a bunch of D linemen chasing after them. So, Mehlville tried to slow us down a little bit here with a cut. You'll see all their guys flop to the ground. See how that kind of slows up our D line just a little bit, just a hair. All right, they're all on the ground. Our linemen are getting cut, and they're working their way through, putting pressure on the quarterback. So usually, if you're cutting, that means a quick throw's coming out because those guys are going to get up and come get you. And you'll see Dominic Grasso here, our cat, our outside linebacker. His job is to drop to our flats over here and take care of anything that happens to show. And this is really, really easy pitch and catch for Dom. All right, actually a really good catch, but a great job being in position. And then my favorite part from here is just the party into the end zone. Anytime we can get a defensive guy to score, it's a celebration. It's a party. And you see all those guys are in a rush to get there first. So then, they all love on him in the end zone there. So a lot of fun, great play. And to start the game off 14-0, right away, that's a huge momentum swing.
Yeah, certainly the boys came out ready and fired up to play. Exciting game to watch. The crowd traveled well. Not only did we have the away stands packed, but you noticed across, like trying to avoid the direct sunlight, there were a lot of blue shirts that we saw across the field. So we appreciate everyone coming out and, hope that atmosphere was, very positive for you and the players because we're home next week. We're home on Friday. And big game coming up, homecoming, a team we played twice last year. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit for those folks that maybe are newer to the program or don't know, tell us a little bit about Oakville.
Yeah, this is a team we're pretty familiar with, really close to us there in St. Louis County. And, they've got a really good football team. You look the last 3 years, we've been conference champions. Oakville's been that second place team every year. And, that's something that they're using as their motivator. I'm sure they're tired of finishing behind us and they want to try to get the best of us, ruin our homecoming. And, they're a really well-coached team, especially over the last 3 years as far as, what they're doing with their offense. And then, their defense plays really fast and really hard. So it's going to be important for us to make sure we have a great week of practice. We're solid on our defensive schemes and the offense does what we do, control the clock, score touchdowns.
Yeah, you described some of the other games earlier this season as that fist fight in a phone booth. What would you coin this battle?
I mean, when it comes to our offense, it is no secret. So, we're really going to need to make sure we control the line of scrimmage. And, that's something where definitely when we played these guys last year, that was almost a draw on the offensive side. Now, defensively, they've got a wide receiver that's, he's leading the area in receiving yards and touchdowns, I believe, or at least pretty close to the top. He's very talented, so we're going to have to find a way to shut him down with our pass rush. And, obviously we want to control the run game in the box. So they're actually a pretty balanced football team. So, going to be important that we make tackles early and make sure we hold on to that momentum.
Yeah, well, we certainly look forward to it. And there seems like there's a whole buildup to this game in the community. The homecoming parade is on Thursday, and we have some pictures from last year. Coach, as a graduate of Seckman High School, and now you have the opportunity and the privilege to come back and coach, what does homecoming mean to you as you go through all this preparation for the week?
Yeah, homecoming, it's just a part of the high school experience. I know a lot of coaches see it as, just one big distraction and don't really want to embrace all the extra activities and such. But, that's not me. My job is to kind of make sure our boys are obviously focused and on task, but that they're also enjoying, everything that homecoming is. I'm fully aware everybody has a dance Saturday night that they're looking forward to and planning all week. Thursday night we have the parade, which, is a fantastic way, for the whole community to kind of come out and celebrate Seckman. And then, pretty much the whole week is leading up to the football game, and that's what it's all about. And we'll be ready to put on a show.
Now, with the activities going on, I imagine there will be a lot of folks, graduates coming back, and don't mean to put you on the spot or anything, but are you aware of any former players coming back for the game?
Not specifically, but this is always the game where you see a few more familiar faces, especially after the game, which I love to see. This will be the game I'm sure a lot of guys were on the team last year will try to make a point to get to. And then, there's always faces in the crowd that you don't see. And, we're getting more and more former players to come back to our games, which, is huge, creating that tradition of Seckman football.
Well, wonderful. We hope the weather cooperates, and even if it doesn't, I imagine it's going to be a great time at the Valley. So we look forward to seeing everyone out there. And just a friendly reminder, we do have our Facebook and YouTube channels. Thanks to you, our friends, we are now above 400 Facebook followers, and that's a good milestone for us. Starting this page from scratch earlier this spring, the podcast, the other video content that Brad from Check Tape Productions is putting together keeps elevating and garnishing thousands and thousands of views. So we appreciate everybody checking out our page and subscribing. And Coach, with that, just wanted to give you the floor one last time. Take us out. Tell us your thoughts about the program and where we stand.
Yeah, hey, we're a third of the way through the season, and homecoming, great opportunities. We're gonna have a fantastic crowd, great atmosphere on Friday. So if you haven't come out yet, make it a point to be there on Friday. Yeah, the crowd's gonna be a little big. You might have this hubbub or this, but show up. It's gonna be the cheapest show in town, $5. You can't even go see a movie for that. So come out and support the Jaguars and get another W.
All right, Coach. Well, we thank you so much for your time and appreciate all the insight that you bring. And certainly good luck this Friday to you and the team. Roll Jags. And we will catch you on the next podcast.
Perfect. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.